Hi everyone, this is your economics second chapter, people as resource, and in this video we will discuss only one topic, that is economic activities by men and women, and of course we'll start with an introduction. So let us start with the introduction. This chapter is about human resource, that means people as resource. So as we are human being, and when we turn into resource, we need to see that. So human population is an asset for the economy rather than liability. First of all, you need to understand what is asset, what is liability. Asset is when you are productive, you contribute to the nation, to nation's gross income, that is asset. Liability, when you do not contribute to the nation and you are of no use for the nation or for the family, that is the liability. Population becomes human capital when investment is made in the form of education, training, and medical care. People as resource referred human capital who contribute to the national income or gross national income. As I told you earlier, only when you contribute to the national income, you will turn into people as resource or human resource. Otherwise, that or human capital also we can say. Otherwise, when you are not contributing, this is human population only. Now from human population to human resource, how we convert human population into human resource: to invest education, training, and medical care. So these three aspects make human population into human resource. Investment in human capital through education, healthcare, and skill yield a return. See, children, right now you are school students, and your parents, your teachers, and your society is investing on you. Right now you are given education, you are given health care, and you are given skill also. And today it is invested on you, and in coming days, within few years, you will bring the return for your, not for only for your family, for the whole country. Human capital is superior to other resources like land and physical capital. We have discussed it earlier also in the previous chapter, that without human capital, the other capitals cannot be used. So, land, physical capital is only useful when human capital make use of it. By investing in human capital, a large number of people who are liability can be turned into asset. So when investment is done in form of education, skill, and medical care, it brings result in future days, and human population can be turned into asset. Countries like Japan, you all know that Japan is very deficit in physical resources, so they have invested in human capital, and you can see Japan is one of the most developed countries. Now to make you understand, there are two stories in your book. One is the story of Vikas, and the second one is the story of Sakal. So Vikas is a boy. In a village. His father is an agricultural laborer, and he earns a very little amount of money. But somehow he sent his son to the school, and Vikas gets education. And after completing his school education, he went to the city. He skilled himself by learning some computer courses, and he goes for higher studies also, though his father had to I mean, that was a very tough time for them, because his father's income was very low, very less, but still somehow they managed to invest on their son, on his son. And as a result, Vikas turned into asset for the for not only for his family, but also for the country. So after completing his education, he gets some skill based education, computer skill based education, and he got a job also. So when he got a job, he earned money, salary, and his family, I mean the condition of his family completely changed. On the other hand, his friend Sakal's mother was a fish seller, fish businessman, women, and she never sent her son to the school. So Sakal did not get any education, any skill, and from very young age he started helping his mother in fish selling. With the passage of time, his mother became sick and she was not able to go to the market for the business, and Sakal had to take care of his mother's business, and after some times he also became sick. So their condition became more worst than earlier. So in these two stories, if we compare these two stories, we will see in one case, in the case of Vikas, the investment was done, and in case of Sakal there was no investment. So after few years, Vikas's family get the return when he get a job and he started earning a good amount of salary. His condition changed. But in case of Sakal, as there was no investment, there was no return, there was no profit also, their condition became more worst. So from these two stories we can understand the role of education, health, and skill in human capital formation. So now our topic, economic activities by men and women. Since long you are learning about economic activities, there are three categories of of economic activities: primary activity, secondary activity, and tertiary activity. Primary activity deals with agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, mining, etc. Secondary activity deals with production, that means manufacturing. And in tertiary activity, it deals with banking, teaching, office work, transportation, etc. Now when we do economic activities, it contribute to the national gross income. So the economic activities again divided into two types: market activities and non market activities. So market activities, it involves the remuneration paid to anyone who performs an activity for earning money. So when you do a work and you get paid for that, that is market activity. It gives you profit. For example, government services. And non market activity, production is for self consumption, it does not give any profit. For example, processing of primary production products for production of goods and one's own self service. So in simple word, market activity is done to earn profit, and a person who is carried out market activity gets paid for that. And non market activity is for self consumption, and no profit is involved in that. There can be a simple example to make you understand. Suppose I am teaching you and I am getting paid for that, so that is a market activity. But when I teach my children at home, I do not get paid for that. My own son or my own daughter, when I teach them at home, I do not get paid for that, so that is a non market activity. Next is there is a small concept that the division of labor on the basis of gender. So we have stereotype thinking in our society that work is divided, different work is divided for male and female. Female meant for doing household chores, and male are supposed to go out and earn money. That is a stereotype thinking. And because of that thinking, it is not like that female do not go out and earn money. Female also go out and they do many market activities and they earn money, but most of the time their earning is very less. They are paid very less. And uh, I mean, the work is given to them is also not up to the mark most of the time. And especially in our unorganized sectors, they do not have even any job security also, because it is believed that all the work is not meant for women. They have less muscle power and they are less educated. So in unorganized sector, sometimes they face a lot of problem. Though there are female in organized sector who are very well established in administrative posts also and in higher posts also, and they get high amount of money, high amount of salary, and they have job security also. But there are this kind of division of labor. So for today this much. Hope you have understood. Thank you.